You know, I've probably started journaling like 50 times in my life, and 49 of those times were epic failures. And the problem was twofold. I was either using somebody else's system, which really just did not fit my life, or it was some kind of routine that forced me into doing something that I didn't necessarily want to do every single day. See, this is the thing that a lot of people don't tell you about journaling. If you miss a few days, that does not mean that you failed at journaling. That just means you're a human and it's going to happen. So until you get it out of your head that waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, setting a mood light or lighting a candle, and sitting down and taking half of your morning to write in a journal is the correct way to do it, until you get that out of your head, you're not going to be successful at journaling. So I want to share with you my anti-routine setup that has really helped me over the past about year and a half, 2 years now, to really make journaling a part of my life, of something that I enjoy to do, and it doesn't feel like it's some part-time job or side hustle. I do give myself a little bit of guidelines here. That is flexible frequency, minimum viable entry, and guilt-free gaps. So let's talk about rule or guideline number 1, which is flexible frequency. Instead of journal every single day, I commit to journal when life happens. So that means that maybe it's 3 times a week. Maybe that means it is every day. Maybe it's 5 days. But the thing is, the pattern here doesn't revolve around the days. It revolves around when I need these things to happen. And you'll get to a point when you know when you need to journal. For me, it's when I start to get tons of thoughts into my head, so it feels like rush hour traffic and there's a lot of congestion and I just can't think clearly, and I need to pick up my journal and start writing something in it. It's kind of like when you wake up in the morning, if you have an internal clock and your body just knows it's time to get up and you don't even need an alarm clock. So just remember, journal when life happens, not because the calendar says to do so. So let's talk about guideline number 2, which is minimum viable entry. One of my favorite ways to journal is something I call highlight journaling. And it's something that I've customized from the bullet journal method, where they just write one single entry every single day. I have just customized my method to write one highlight of the day so I can focus more on the positive aspects of the day. Because after all, our days are already so full of negativity. Why not spend a little bit of time focusing on the positive? This one sentence entry is so much more valuable because it happened today. And it's something that I normally would overlook, so it's really nice to be able to go back and be reflective of these things. And honestly, your minimum viable entry is whatever keeps you coming back to your journal. What did you eat? What did you experience? Who did you hang out with? It really doesn't matter as long as it's something that gets you excited about coming back to journaling. So guideline number 3 is guilt-free gaps. And this is one thing that changed everything for me in journaling. Until I was really given permission to make a journal something that was my own, I lived inside of a box. And that's a problem I have with a lot of different areas of life. I feel like something happened in my childhood that carried over into adult life, where I live inside of a box until I'm told otherwise, or myself or someone else gives me permission to get out of it. And maybe you're like me. You used to start a journal and you would miss a day, no big deal, you'd pick it right back up. But if you missed 2 days or 3 days or a week even, and you had that big of a gap, you didn't really want to continue anymore. So you go out and buy a new journal, and the same thing would happen again and again, to the point that you had a whole bunch of journals with very little entries. And it was all because you were punishing yourself for having gaps, which are very much okay to have. I used to think that consistency meant perfection, but really consistency just means returning, reoccurring. And literally that is the biggest reason why journaling becomes so much better for me, and why all those times that I failed, I finally was successful with it this time around. So let me show you what this looks like in practice. So over the past month or so, I've journaled, a handful of times, but I've journaled when I needed it. So I wasn't forcing myself to do any of these entries. If there was something that was fresh on my mind that I was very excited about, or I was upset about, I wrote about it because I needed to do that. And honestly, these entries gave me more clarity than I would have if I've done a whole year of forced entries, because I'm using this as a tool to help me when I need it. So if you want to get started on this right now, all you got to do is go get yourself a journal, or even better, if you have one that you've already started and you felt like you couldn't go back to it because, you'd already started it, but there's this big gap. Well, now you can. I'm giving you permission to do that. But if you want to start brand new just one more time, that's okay too. Because all of this is a part of your process and your journey to make journaling something that's going to work well for you. But no matter where you are on your journey right now, I wish you the best. If you found anything in this video helpful, I have a bunch more videos on journaling about various topics. If you want to learn more about the highlight journaling or any of the other methods that I use, I've got a playlist just for that. But I hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, be sure to create something new today.